What is up, YouTube? And welcome back to Tactical Newbie, the channel where a newbie like me gets into all things tactical. With the funny movie introductions out of the way per usual, like we always do, let's get right into today's video. So today's video, I'm going to be doing yet another tactical comparison video, a part of the tactical comparison segment of videos that I do feature on the channel. For those of you that are not familiar with the tactical comparison segment of videos, it is essentially where I take a Gucci brand name item and I cross-compare it to its budget-friendly clone counterpart, highlight the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between, and from there at least provide to you, the tactical-minded consumer, at least a budget-friendly alternative or option to the otherwise Gucci brand name, just in case finances were tight. It at least provides you at least obviously a clone / knockoff alternative that you can go if you're looking to at least build a specific loadout and you didn't necessarily have the funds to drop down on some of the more expensive Gucci brand name prices. But with all the rambling out of the way, let's get right into today's tactical comparison video. Today's tactical comparison segment of videos is going to highlight the Ferro Concepts 3AC soft side armor panel, and we're going to be cross-comparing it to the budget-friendly alternative, which is the AliExpress, and I think you can get these on Amazon as well, clone budget-friendly counterpart. Keep in mind that when you do buy the product from AliExpress or Amazon, they do not come with side soft armor, level 3 side soft armor like the Ferro Concepts options do. So obviously if you do go the budget friendly route, do not assume that the foam pads that they give you is armor of any sort, because it is not. I shouldn't have to say that, but obviously just want to cover all bases there. But kind of more the highlight than anything is that obviously the wrap that comes with that side panel, the nylon / material, it at least provides you an alternative option to, even if you did get the 3AC body arm system from Ferro Concepts and maybe you had a secondary system that you were looking to run and maybe you wanted a different color set or something like that to change up to you. You obviously have a budget-friendly alternative without having to then buy another expensive 3AC from Ferro Concepts, which I think runs like $200+ You don't have to go that route to essentially get the wrap that you needed to get. Full transparency with this tactical comparison video as well. I know there's a lot of rambling here, but we're going to be at least highlighting the difference between the Ferro Concepts, which is a large, versus the budget-friendly alternative, which is a medium. Now, at least to the best of my knowledge through research prior to doing this video, I could not at least find through AliExpress any of the soft armor, at least wraps, that do come in large. So if you are at least a larger framed bodied individual and you needed to go the large route, unfortunately up to this point, at least to the best of my knowledge, to this present moment, they could come out sooner, AliExpress basically offers only a medium, which is usually good for most of the standard body sets for most of the plate carrier systems that most guys tend to run. So even though this will be a tactical comparison between both products, the medium is significantly smaller than the large. So you do want to take that into comparison, or at least consideration, when doing this tactical comparison video. But with all the rambling out of the way, let's get right into the video. Let's get these things down on the table. And with all that being said, I will see you guys on the other side. Alrighty guys, and away we go. So first we'll start by taking a look at the Ferro Concepts 3AC side soft armor panels. Retail price is $234 plus tax and shipping and handling. Just a couple key notes to highlight with the $234 price tag. Essentially when you buy these from Ferro Concepts, you obviously get the pouches that hold the side soft armor, but you also get the NIJ level 3A rated side soft armor as well. So take that into consideration for the $234 price point that you're getting armor and the pouches. But we'll be cross comparing that to the AliExpress variant / clone knockoff edition. Retail price for that is $55.87. That's the price that I paid for, but there's been a variation of different prices you can find on AliExpress, anywhere between like $30 and $40 depending on the vendor you go through. From here we'll do a price
price comparison between the $234 versus the $54.87. Obviously, you can see there's a huge discrepancy in the prices, and obviously the Ferro Concepts is a large, while the AliExpress variant is a medium. So that's the other huge discrepancy you're going to notice across the board, is that there's a significant size difference between the Ferro Concepts to the AliExpress, and that is because the AliExpress is kind of sized as a medium, while the Ferro Concepts variant I purchased was a large, so it is significantly bigger. From here, what we'll do is we'll actually do a full breakdown of the Ferro Concepts 3AC side soft armor, and we'll kind of do a brief overview directly coming from Ferro Concepts. Ferro Concepts states that the 3AC side soft armor is rated at level 3A and can be mounted on the 3-inch assault cummerbund as well as the carry elastic cummerbund when used in tandem with the CEC side plate pocket adapter. It provides full coverage from front to back. It also provides a hugging effect to your sides, creates additional airflow, as well as it helps manage shifting weight from your shoulders to your sides. These specific, at least pouches, and of course side soft armor comes in 3 different sizes, all of which correspond to the size of the assault cummerbund. So if you are purchasing these, at least side soft armor panels, you do have to get the adequate size panels to the adequate size cummerbund. So basically from there, it does state that there's a no fuss attachment via hook and loop, which that's the primary method on how you install it to your at least your cummerbund system, primarily the 3-inch assault cummerbund, or with the adapter with the elastic cummerbund. They are sold in a set. Again, they do come with level 3A side soft armor, which is included. It does offer, at least what they claim, is full coverage around the sides, so take that into consideration as well. They also come in 3 different prices, 3 different sizes, which I'll read them. The size medium comes in basically 6 inches by 15 inches and has a 24.5 ounce weight. Large comes at 6 inches by 18 inches and runs about 29.9 ounce weight. And then the extra large comes at 6 inches by 21 inches and has a 35.7 ounce weight. But all things considered, these products are made in the USA and of course do have obviously a great reputation, as most products do, coming from Ferro Concepts. So with that specific $234 price tag, as I did state, you do get quite a bit for them. So while it is an exorbitant price, take that at least into consideration, that you do get pretty decent level 3A soft armor that does have a 5-year warranty on it. Going from there, we'll take a look at the AliExpress variant knockoff. The AliExpress 3AC side soft armor knockoff is essentially a full, at least, variant or clone or knockoff of the Ferro Concepts of the same name. It's manufactured by Pew Tactical, which essentially is a Chinese manufacturing company. A lot of people in the airsoft community are fairly familiar with them for the most part. The actual product description, unfortunately, from both Pew Tactical and from AliExpress, doesn't really offer much of a product breakdown. These are sized in medium, which just based on my assumption would be of the same size and dimensions as the medium size from Ferro Concepts. So take that into consideration. Keep in mind that I don't have a set of medium plates, soft armor plates with me, so I don't have at least a definitive answer if the mediums from Pew Tactical / AliExpress are a direct, easy enough swap. I would assume yes, since most clone knockoff copies made in China tend to at least be dimensionality wise almost exact to the product they are directly at least cloning or knocking off. It does say that the size is blank, which I assume is a medium, but I think that's pretty much all they sell. It says the weight is 300, I assume, grams, and then it says that the 3AC side soft armor bags can be mounted on any of the 3-inch assault cummerbund profiles. So whether it's the knockoff variant, like I said, from a company like Pew Tactical, or anything that you get from Amazon. I think there's a couple other different manufacturers that sell variants or knockoffs for the most part. And then, of course, any of at least the analogous Ferro Concept brands as well. But basically from there, that's the unfortunate reality, is couldn't really offer much of a full product breakdown, at least as it pertains to at least the clone copy. One thing as I will highlight again is the size discrepancies. The medium size, again, this is coming from Ferro Concepts, so take that into consideration, is again rated, or at least the size dimensions is 6-inch by 15-inch, again with 24.5 ounce weight, while the large is 6 inches by 18 inches. So essentially what you're getting is about a 3-inch different variation, at least in overall length, but across the board, all of the 3AC, at least soft armor, at least pouches profile and the soft armor all has about a 6-inch height, and the length variables differ based on the length availability of the assault cummerbund that you're matching it in conjunction with. From here, we'll basically highlight at least quality across the board. I mean, I think the stitching for the most part is pretty decent across the board. You do notice at least standout differences, I think, for me personally, in overall quality. Again, that's no surprise, and kind of what you would expect with certain products that you do get obviously from China. They're usually not a direct one-for-one copy in all aspects, but in a lot of aspects sometimes you can be pleasantly surprised with at least the similarities between the two. But now, as we have at least both products on the table, we can kind of get a little bit more in-depth with the comparison between the two products, kind of matching the products at least kind of up next to each other. You can see that the overall frame and dimensions are fairly similar, obviously, other than the big standout difference being the overall at least length of the large Ferro Concepts versus the medium of the AliExpress variant. As I was kind of highlighting on stitching, cross comparatively, stitching is fairly comparable. Keep in mind that you do have a stronger overall QC with Ferro Concepts, so usually they're checking a lot of their products before they're selling them out multiple times to make sure that there's no loose stitches or any type of wonky stitches across the board. But at least comparatively, like I said, stitching is fairly comparable. Only time will tell how either one of these products really break down over time and age. But the realism is that at the end of the day, like a $55 price tag, if you are running at least medium 3AC side soft armor panels for your FCPC, the one kind of at least good thing that you can have, at least in the variant difference, is that if you did want a different color set, maybe you had a corresponding plate carrier set and you didn't necessarily wanted to buy the full shebang system, $230 odd for another set of level 3A side soft armor with essentially the pouches to go with it. That's essentially what you're pretty much paying for. You could obviously go at least the AliExpress route and to get yourself at least a separate color set to kind of mix and match with other plate carriers based on what you're running and stuff like that. So it is kind of at least a nice little kind of possibility down the line for you to offer, at least like I said, a discrepancy between different styles, different colors, if you decide to want to go that route. As I was kind of highlighting, obviously the difference in size, as I did kind of state, the Ferro Concepts large is longer than the AliExpress variant. Width between the two, like I said, is fairly, at least across the board, fairly comparable. So I would assume that, like I said, that at least the dimensions of the AliExpress variant is probably a true medium based on the dimensions coming from Ferro Concepts, which is a 6-inch by 15-inch overall dimensionality, or at least overall setup. Looking at least end to end of both the products, the cuts of both of the pouches seem to be very comparable as well. Again, as I did kind of highlight with the stitching, the inseam stitching seems to be fairly comparable. Overall quality of the material of the pouch seems to be fairly comparable, at least to the touch. Again, I am no expert in nylon. I am no expert in material, at least, you know, the soft armor material across the board. But I can say that at least by simple touch and feel, there is a pretty decent similarity between the two products. One thing to highlight too is that the AliExpress variant is older. I've had that for a couple months now, while the Ferro Concepts variant is brand new. But essentially what you can pretty much see that across the board they are fairly similar, other than the big kind of standpoint in the room, which would be the fact that you're getting armor for one, which would be the Ferro Concepts variant, while no armor for the AliExpress variant. So keep in mind that if you do purchase from AliExpress, you will have to at least, if you want them to be able to offer any sort of protection, you're gonna have to buy the armor, whether it's from Ferro Concepts or from any other corresponding company. But yeah. Alright, now after the comparison, this is generally when I wrap up most of my tactical comparison videos, but I figured I'd offer a little bit of insight on how to actually install the side soft armor into the Ferro Concepts side soft armor pouches. Keep in mind that you could actually get the same install instructions from Ferro Concepts YouTube page. They do have a video on how to install that, but if you are watching this video specifically and you at least want some additional information on how to install the side soft armor into the side soft armor pouch, I figured I'd at least offer a mock tutorial on how to do so. Well, some of the primary things that they kind of highlight in the video is that you do have blatantly written on the actual side soft armor. Obviously you have the breakdown, NIJ rated, all that stuff, but it does tell you top, so you want to face that top up to the top portion of the plate bag, which is the portion of the plate bag that does have the sewn in hook and loop patch at the top, the longer one. You also want to make sure that the actual description on the actual soft armor that has the NIJ rating and everything like that is also facing inward towards the soft part of, or away from essentially the hook and loop Velcro and into the softer part or softer material of the pouch. From there, you essentially just slide one of the ends into the actual pouch, and then you actually have to slightly manipulate the actual side soft armor, which is a little bit rigid but not super difficult to bend. You essentially have to fold it up and bend it into itself to be able to slide the other end into the corresponding side. And then from there, you essentially just are doing some minor just kind of touch-up work to try to get everything to fit right, which consists of what they call rolling, which essentially is you're essentially just rolling the material up and over, so that way you have a pretty decent even coverage on all points on the pouch, so everything kind of fits well and you don't have any like awkwardness in the pouch within itself. And then you want to pull everything kind of taut, so you want to take the bottom flap, you want to pull that tight, you want to take the two side flaps as you're pulling that tight in an upward direction, and then the two side tabs basically Velcro that bottom lip into place. And then inversely on the top end, you want to do the same thing. You want to pull that top lip down. They do recommend, if you wanted to, it's based on your personal preference, you can actually roll inward, like almost like a C. Roll it in, roll the side soft armor in to be able to get at least a decent enough mating surface to the Velcro to get yourself a good, tangible, good, strong, secure hold to connect everything in. I didn't necessarily find myself having to do that. They also do kind of highlight that you are going to have a little bit of a slight separation between the hook and loop Velcro when you get everything together. But all things considered, that's pretty much how you install the side soft armor into the pouch. Really wasn't super difficult, but I figured it would help you guys to see how it's done.
Alrighty guys, I hope you liked the video. Of course, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Down below, let me know what you think of today's tactical comparison video, a part of the tactical comparison segment of videos that I do feature on the channel. I just want to kind of highlight the same stuff that I normally highlight at the outro of all of these videos. I do have a Twitter/X. Feel free to hit the link down in the description down below if you want to follow me there. I also do have a Patreon link. Feel free to hit that link down in the description down below if you want to contribute any sort of patronage to the Tactical Newbie channel. Keep in mind that all the items that I do feature on the Tactical Newbie channel are 100% self-funded by myself and my job. I am not sponsored by any of these, at least companies. For the most part, nobody is giving me free product to review. Nobody is giving me free product to hopefully sway me in any of these comparison videos. This is a relatively small channel, so with that being said, if there's any point in the future where I was at least offered any sort of at least monetary exchange or any type of sponsorship from a specific company, I would make that 100% transparent with you, the viewer. But with all that rambling out of the way, I hope you do like the video, and I will see you guys next week.